The NCAA tournament rolls on Saturday night, and all eyes will be on the Duke Blue Devils in the second game against the Houston Cougars. This is a Duke team that is loaded. 3 players with potential top 10 picks, potential top 8 picks. You look at NBA draft big boards; these are guys that are projected to go in the top 8. Give or take, dealer's choice. But they're all going to be top 10 picks. Cooper Flagg, Knipple, and Kylan Malawatch. These guys are 3 freshmen that have been awesome from start to finish this year. A Duke team that's won over 30 games, has only lost 3 the entire season, hasn't lost a game by more than 6 points. They're here, and they're in this spot for a reason. They're one of the biggest brands in the sport. They're highly touted recruits, Malawatch, Knipple, and then Cooper Flagg as well, of course. But all eyes are going to be on these guys, and Sixers fans need to be locked in on these guys as well, because these are 3 players that could potentially be fits on this Philadelphia 76ers roster for next year. Cooper Flagg, obviously, the Sixers are going to have to get the number 1 pick. We know the standards. We know the measures around getting this overall top 6 pick and the importance of it, the circumstances surrounding it. But the Sixers need to get into the top 6 with the lottery odds, or that pick will fall to the Oklahoma City Thunder at number 7 or below. So the Philadelphia 76ers, praying that the ping pong balls bounce their way, fall their way. But sitting today, as of now, on April 2nd, they have the 5th worst odds, or the 5th best odds, whatever you kind of want to phrase it as, 5th best odds at the number 1 overall pick. Obviously, the 5th highest odds of keeping a pick in the top 6 there as well. And in this circumstance, the Sixers would need to get up to number 1 overall to get Cooper Flagg. But if they are at number 5, they are at number 6, they'll have their eyes on guys like Knipple, shooting guard, wing kind of player, knockdown shooter. We'll talk about these guys more in depth. And then Kylan Malawatch as well, as a potential long-term replacement for Joel Embiid at the center spot. It's time to start to look at those guys. But we'll get into Cooper Flagg first. I'm sure everyone who's tuned into this video has at least seen him at points this year. But the number 1 overall pick since he came out last year. It was no doubt about it coming into the season. He would be the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. And pretty crazy as well, this is a kid that is still supposed to be a senior in high school, reclasses this year to Duke, and has a standout year. He's most likely going to be the National Player of the Year, and with the national title on Monday night, potentially winning the Final Four over Houston on Saturday, and then beating either Auburn or Florida in the national title game on Monday night, he could cap off the best freshman season that we've ever seen from a freshman in college basketball history. Average north of 18 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.3 blocks, 1.4 steals, 48% from the field, 37% from 3. The list goes on and on. You see the star-studded performances there. The Georgia Tech one, he rolled his ankle in, so he didn't play. But you look in the NCAA tournament, 30 against Arizona, 16 the other night against Alabama. But he's all over the court. He does just a little bit of everything to help his team out, and he's a really winning player. That's the thing that sticks out to me the most about him, the maturity of his game as a guy that's still supposed to be only a senior in high school. The way that he's evolved and the way that he's bought in and led this Duke team, you can tell everyone's eyes are on him 24/7 on this Duke squad. They look to him to be kind of the engine for that team. And while I still don't think he has one absolutely head over heels trait that's like, this is going to make him the next face of the league, the next generational prospect. Is he ever going to be a guy that averages 30 points per game? I don't think so. Is he ever going to be a guy that averages a triple-double, like a guy like Jokic or a guy like Russell Westbrook? I don't think so. But he does everything super well, and he's a winning player. Is he ever going to be the face of the league? I don't quite think so. But I think his ceiling is like a Jason Tatum type of player where, sure, he could go out there and score you 30 points. Is he going to do that on a regular basis? I don't know, but he's going to play damn good defense. He's going to rebound the ball. He's going to pass the ball well. He's going to be in the right spot. He's going to be a great leader. He's going to be coachable. Everything that you want in a player, everything that you want in a prospect, Cooper Flagg has. And he's got that dog in him as well. He's got that kind of it factor to him that I love about his game. So when you look at Cooper Flagg, is he a 45% shooter from 3-point range? Is he a high flyer? Like, he doesn't have the overall crazy trait, I think, that makes a number 1 overall pick, but he does everything well, and I don't think there's a hole in his game, and he's improved as the year has gone on. His 3-point shot has gotten better, his shot creation has gotten better, and you just watched one of those possessions against Alabama on the defensive end the other night. This guy flies all over the court, plays his behind off each and every night, and he's led this Duke team to the Final Four, and they're the favorite right now on the betting market to win the national title as well. So it's hard to nitpick anything with Cooper Flagg's game. I would probably compare him to like a Jason Tatum in that regard, where he's going to play great defense, he's going to rebound, he's going to assist, but he can go out there and score as well. Do I think he will be the face of the league one day? And when I'm saying that, his name has gotten thrown around as the best player since LeBron. Who else have we heard that about? Zion. We've heard that about Ben Simmons. We've heard about Andrew Wiggins. None of those guys have lived up to the billing. Cooper Flagg, I think, out of those guys, has kind of the highest floor, but I don't think he has the highest ceiling. Maybe he can prove me wrong. Maybe he has more to tap into. I think he's going to be a damn good player, but I think he's like, a potential first-team All-Pro player, a second-team All-Pro player. But do I think he goes into the Washington Wizards or the Charlotte Hornets and turns them around like LeBron James did the Cleveland Cavaliers overnight? No, I don't think so. But I think he's going to be a damn good player for a damn long time and be a player that's consistently, an all-star, potential all-NBA type of player. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, but that's a high ceiling, a high bar to clear. But if the Sixers do find a way to get him and you can throw him into the lineup with Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, hopefully Paul George back in some good shape as well, Quentin Grimes maybe, that's a team that I think, when fully healthy, could compete for the East next year. So a lot of things have to go right. The Sixers will have to get the number 1 overall pick to secure Cooper Flagg. But that would be a great starting spot for this offseason for sure. Next player, want to touch on Con Knippel, the shooting guard out of Duke as well. These are 3 players on Duke that we're going to be touching on. 14.4 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 2.8 assists, but he shot 40% from 3, 47% from the field. And he's had a really strong NCAA tournament. 21 points the other night against Alabama, 20 against Arizona, 12 against Baylor. A really solid overall NCAA tournament. Not just scoring the ball, rebounding 5-5 against Alabama, 4-3 against Arizona. He's had a really nice performance over this NCAA tournament. I think has made himself a lot of money. Not the most explosive athlete, not the most dangerous player kind of with the ball in his hands, but a really another sound, good fundamental player. Knocks down threes, you're able to run him off screens. He's able to make creation and make shots off the bounce. Is he going to be a guy that's a blow-by, finish on your head type of player? No, but he has the self-awareness where he can gets into the lane, finishes off 2 feet, uses pump fakes well. He does all the little things. Kind of like, not the same player, but fundamentally wise, kind of reminds me of Jalen Brunson. Just does everything sound, and he's able to kind of get to a spot and have his way. And he's a player that is going to be a top 10 pick as well. A guy that can shoot the ball 40% from 3 at 6'5", 6'6". High IQ player as well, plays the game really hard. He's a guy that has seen his name in the lottery since the season began. I don't think he's done anything to dispel that notion as well. So Con Knippel, another player, he's a player that if the Sixers were at 6, he'd probably in the more of the market for. I'm not picking him before 6. I think there's guys with a lot higher upside than him. But probably, right next to Cooper Flagg, I think up there with the highest floor of any of these players in this draft class. I don't think there's a really much of a bust potential with Con Knippel, and I think a bright future and a very long, lucrative NBA career waits in the wing. Do I have an exact comparison for him? No. But just think of a bunch of guys that have made a lot of money, averaging, 14, 15 points per game, shooting the ball 40% from 3, and being like the third option on some of these really good teams. I think that's kind of the ceiling and kind of the path for Con Knippel to have a really successful NBA career. And our final player we're going to touch on, Kylan Malawatch. I apologize if I'm saying that name incorrectly. You look at his numbers, not going to jump off the page to you exactly. 8.7 points per game, 1.3 blocks, 6.8 rebounds, I believe that says. But another player with a lot of potential and another guy that's had a really nice tournament. 14 points against Bama there. You see 13 against Arizona, 11 against Mount St. Mary's, 8 against Baylor, 8 against Louisville in the ACC tournament final. He's a player, too, though, very new and very raw to the game of basketball. Like, when you see Malawatch play, you're like, wait, that guy's only been playing basketball for like 4 or 5 years. He's one of the NBA basketball without border guys, comes from the South Sudan. A 7'8" wingspan, just an overall freak talent, freak kind of build, and a guy that's completely raw in terms of his game of basketball. 7'2", 250 pounds. He's a center. He's going to be playing the 5. Already showing a nice shooting touch from the outside, the ability to kind of step out and make shots from the perimeter. But he's going to be a defensive presence. He's going to be a defensive anchor. And this Sixers team is going to be built around guards, whether it's Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, Quentin Grimes, whatever the trio is. If they are able to go out and get a wing or something, you're going to need that defensive anchor as well with those guys long term, because it comes back to how much more can you reliably feel that Joel Embiid is going to be a high-level NBA player. It was announced today that he's getting an arthroscopic knee surgery. Who knows if that'll clean anything up or heal anything. Once again, why hasn't this surgery happened already? Why are we delaying it till now? Maybe it was due to swelling or other procedures behind the scenes had to happen. But Sixers have to start to identify their potential long-term center. And once again, if all the players are gone, that I think the Sixers would ideally target, like Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, probably Yakachonis, VJ Edgecombe, and Malawatch is sitting there at number 6. Wade is a player I would consider because you do need to start, whether it's developing a backup or just have a replacement flat out. Like Joel Embiid could go out there and give it one more shot next year, but not be ready to go. And while Joel Embiid, while Malawatch, I don't think will ever be the offensive talent that Joel Embiid is, the defensive ability certainly is there. The switchability on the perimeter, the ability to anchor the paint and hold down the rim, protect the rim in all regards, rebound the ball is there. I don't think he'll ever touch the offensive ability, but this is a guy that I don't really think has a ceiling on his game right now. Super raw and super young, are new to the game of basketball, and he's more than held his own as the Duke starting center this year and certainly has made a name for himself. So Saturday night, Final Four, Duke, Houston, Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, Malawatch, all different guys that could be Sixers next year. Cooper Flagg, kind of your wing do-it-all player. Con Knipple, your sniper, your scorer, and then Malawatch, your defensive anchoring, rim protecting center, a guy that's going to run the floor, play really hard, and hopefully develop more of a well-rounded offensive game. But these are all potential pieces that could be on the Sixers, not only next year, but going forward as well, that could make big impacts for the future of the franchise. Let me know what you guys think about the prospects in the comments below. Obviously, Cooper Flagg is a headliner. What do you think about Malawatch? What do you think about Knipple? What do you think about these guys' kind of NBA ceilings and potential fit on the Sixers, not only next year, but going forward as well for the future of this franchise? As always, please drop a like, please drop a subscribe, and we'll be talking to you next time here on Sixers Digest.